The properties of quadrilaterals. To begin, let's start off with a flowchart. This will be filled in as we go along. First, what is a quadrilateral? A quadrilateral is any polygon with 4 sides. Now that we have that cleared up, let's talk about the different quadrilaterals and their properties. First, let's begin with a parallelogram. A parallelogram has both pairs of opposite sides parallel, both pairs of opposite sides congruent, one pair of opposite sides parallel and congruent, diagonals that bisect each other, both pairs of opposite angles congruent, and finally, consecutive angles that are supplementary. Now, let's move on to the kite. A kite has both pairs of consecutive sides congruent but opposite sides not congruent, diagonals that are perpendicular, and exactly one pair of opposite angles congruent. The trapezoid. A trapezoid has exactly one pair of opposite sides parallel and exactly 2 pairs of consecutive angles supplementary. Now, let us branch out of the parallelogram. The rectangle. The rectangle has all the properties of a parallelogram, a right angle, and diagonals that are congruent. Now, the rhombus. The rhombus has all the properties of a parallelogram, all sides congruent, diagonals that are perpendicular, and diagonals that bisect the opposite angles. Now, time to branch out of the rectangle and rhombus. This leads us to the oh so popular and extremely exciting square. The square has all the properties of a parallelogram, all the properties of a rectangle, and all the properties of a rhombus. Now, let's move on to the kite's subcategory. The kite subcategory is the right kite. A right kite has all the properties of a kite and a right angle. Now, let's branch out of the trapezoid. A trapezoid branches out into 2 subcategories: an isosceles trapezoid and a right trapezoid. An isosceles trapezoid has all the properties of a trapezoid, non-parallel sides congruent, diagonals that are congruent, and base angles that are congruent. And finally, a right trapezoid has all the properties of a trapezoid and a right angle. Congratulations, champ! You've graduated my academy! What's next? A test. Have fun. Bye.